again. You should have stayed dead!
I have come here to kick ass.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. So I'm through most of the documents, not all of the documents that were released tonight. Like I said, I wouldn't say cautious. There was so much bullshit with this release. And I think that just plays into the hands of everybody that's trying to fuck people over. So who's actually been named, I'm not going to go off any speculation or anything. I'm reading what I saw in the documents with my own two eyes. That's it. I'm not going into who has or hasn't been named. So we're going to get into the couple things that I can say for certain were in this report. Like I said, there's been so much of this. The flight logs were released nearly 4 years ago. They don't fucking matter. Like, we've already been through them. They're on the channel. Go look. All this other stuff is just a distraction to discredit the future story or the actual story that's here. So I caution everybody to not get too caught up in that kind of stuff. This is what I have so far from me and my team going through all the documents. So Glenn and Eva Dubin had massages from some of the underage girls and interactions and friendships with Ghislaine Maxwell. Glenn and Eva Dubin. Shit, this is the only one that I didn't actually write down. And Eva Dubin. Billionaire, blah, blah, blah. Hedge fund manager. That's why I didn't write it down. He's just the run-of-the-mill piece of shit. Hedge fund manager. Jean-Luc Brunel, French model scout. He died in suicide by hanging in his jail cell. Sound familiar? And he had various massages from various of the underage women, girls, over a period of time. So a lot of these aren't going to be revelations because there wasn't much. I'm going to be honest. Were you present on the island when Prince Andrew visited? Answer, yes. How many times? Answer, I can only remember once. This is from one of the girls. Some of the other girls also named Prince Andrew, so I know that for sure. Anna, that Star Wars girl, points out LeBron. I have not seen LeBron James anywhere in the document at all. I'm going to tell you exactly who is in the document. Not anything, because there's going to be litigation. Anybody who's named here and isn't directly in this document, you better believe there's going to be litigation. I am not speculating a damn word. If it is not in the document, I will not say it publicly. So there's another one. Did you provide Virginia Roberts with an outfit of sexual nature to wear for Les Wexner? And they answered yes. So Lex Wexner is another one that we can reasonably say had some kind of sexual interaction. Multiple girls, multiple different accounts of it. Another one that was very prominent, probably, if not the most, probably the second most prominent, powerful individual that Epstein forced then minor Jane Doe to have sexual relations with once former Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz. So Dershowitz is another one that has been brought up several times. There's significant amount of evidence to show and be pretty firm in that belief as well. So it goes a lot deeper in there. Powerful individual that Epstein forced then minor, to have sexual relationship. Alan Dershowitz, a close friend of Epstein's and well-known criminal defense. Epstein required Jane Doe to have sexual relations with Dershowitz on numerous occasions while she was a minor, not only in Florida, but also on private planes in New York, New Mexico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. In addition to being a participant in the abuse of Jane Doe 3 and other minors, Dershowitz was an eyewitness to the sexual abuse of many other minors by Epstein and several Epstein's co-conspirators. Dershowitz would later play a significant role in negotiating the NPA on Epstein's behalf. Indeed, Dershowitz helped negotiate an agreement that provided immunity from federal prosecution in the Southern District of Florida, not only for Epstein, but also to any potential co-conspirators of Epstein. Thus, Dershowitz helped to negotiate any agreement with provision that provided protection for himself against criminal prosecution in Florida for sexually abusing Jane Doe. Because his broad immunity would have been controversial if disclosed, Dershowitz, along with other members of Epstein's defense team and the government, tried to keep immunity provisions secret from all the Epstein victims and the general public, even though such secrecy violated the Crime Victims' Rights Act. Hey, Daisy. Hey, Linda. So we have another very prominent member in the next document. For instance, one such powerful individual Epstein forced Jane Doe to have sexual relationships with was a member of the British royal family, Prince Andrew, aka Duke of York. Jane Doe was forced to have sexual relations with the prince when she was a minor in 3 separate geographical locations in London, in New York, and on Epstein's private islands in the U.S. Virgin Islands, in an orgy with numerous other underage girls. Epstein instructed Jane Doe that she was to give Prince whatever he demanded and required that Jane Doe report back to him with the details of the abuse. Maxwell facilitated Prince Andrew's acts of abuse by acting as madam for Epstein, thereby assisting and internationally trafficking Doe, number 3, and numerous other young girls for these purposes. Another person in Epstein's inner circle of friends who becomes apparent with almost no investigative effort. Again, this is direct from the court. Jean-Luc Brunel. Epstein trafficked Jane Doe to Brunel many times. Brunel was another of Epstein's closest friends and regular traveling companion who had many contacts with young girls throughout the world. Brunel had been a model scout for various modeling agencies for many years, and apparently was able to get U.S. case entered, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of names. Passports for young girls to work, in quotes, as models. It would bring young girls ranging from ages as young as 12 to the United States for sexual purposes and farm them out to his friends, especially Epstein. Brunel would offer girls modeling jobs. Many of the girls came from poor countries or impoverished backgrounds, and he lured them with the promise of making good money. Epstein forced Jane Doe to observe him. Brunel and Maxwell engaged in illegal acts with dozens of underage girls. Epstein also forced Doe 3 to have sex with Brunel on numerous occasions at places including Epstein's mansion in West Palm, Little St. James, many including orgies that were compromised of other underage. New York City, New Mexico, Paris, south of France, and California. Here's another victim and thing. I'm telling you, Jazane told me that to go to Glen Durbin and give him a massage, which means sex. Question. Okay, so Jazane Maxwell told you to go give a massage to Glen Durbin. Answer correct. Here's another one of the does. Ghislaine Maxwell told you to give a massage to Prince Andrew. Correct. Answer correct. Ghislaine Maxwell told you to give a 20-minute massage to Bill Richardson. Correct. Answer correct. When did Ghislaine Maxwell yell you to give a massage to Bill Richardson? numerous occasions. Where did you go have sex with Marvin Minsky? And the answer was, I believe it was the U.S. Virgin Islands. So that's what we have from the actual documents as of now. That is it. That is it. I think we have 2 or 3. Again, sensationalism's great. It's fun to speculate and get all excited about, but it's not there. It's not there. So I think it lessens the case and it makes it uh it gives them an opportunity to make us look like assholes and that we're just grasping at straws if it's not in the text. If it's not there, I will not, in any case, speculate on it. If I find it in one of the remaining documents, hell yeah, I will absolutely call it out. I've made note of every single person that's been mentioned, but I'm not going to speculate and say that 700 other people were involved and just not have anything to back it up. I think it's completely unreasonable. I think it doesn't help our cause any, and that's not what I do. So, absolutely. Hiding information based on his own truthful opinion on reading through the documents, no defamation or speculation is intended. And I'm trying to be very clear with that. I'm not going into the world of speculation if it's not directly in the documents. Everything I just read and all the quotes I just read are directly taken from the court documents that were released this evening. There were, I think there were about 40 documents, a total of about 983 pages that were released from the court in this first set of leaks. There's a list of 76 names. They don't have anything attached to them. So again, I could sit here and just read off names, but there's anyone that has any kind of allegation, any sort of allegation in any way, is very clearly marked. Very clearly marked. I appreciate it, Jason, but like I said, if it's not there, I'm not reading it. If it's not in the documents. Yeah, that wasn't the Trump one. That wasn't from the original. It's not accurate. And neither was the second. The LeBron one was not from the documents. It was not accurate. That's what I'm saying. Neither one of those were from the documents or accurate. So neither one of those were accurate. That's why I'm not. And I can say that unequivocally because I've been through them and at least scanned and I've at least looked for names um, and then I went back through and read again. And I can say both very clearly that neither one of those are accurate. Neither one of those are in any of the documents that were released at all. That's why I'm saying there's so much of it going around and it really just pisses me off because all it's going to do is undermine the realistic nature of what's in these documents. Um, and I get it. Not everybody's read them. That's why I didn't go live at normal time 8:30 because I was not done yet and nobody could have been. They dropped about that time. I have read meticulously through them. I've been with my team reading through them. Every single page. Like I said, I have a couple left, but he's not in any of those. Neither of those are in any of the documents released from the court, from the Southern District of New York courts, which is where I directly received mine from. So, and I'm very comfortable saying that I'm authentic and I'm being very cautious with it. Not cautious to protect anybody. I think they're all fucking assholes. I'm being cautious to protect myself and the integrity of the information because I think it's very important that we get this one right. Because if we fuck this one up, then they can get away with more and more and more because we just look like assholes that jumped to conclusions and threw a bunch of names out on a list. That's my personal opinion. So, my team, You left for half the time, you asshole. My team, bite my hairy wombat ass. You want a link? You can come on. I don't care. You ain't on my team anyways. You just my bitch. I love you, Ozzy. So that's what we found so far. Like I said, I'll continue to go through them. I have a couple more. I'm looking through. The rest of them are all depositions. I didn't see anything on a scan. I went with the ones that were more that I thought were going to have more information. But yeah, that's what we have so far from the courts officially. So. As a fan, please show me that you're not the hell you whatever you call it. Yeah, I will. But all right, so that's going to be it for now. I'm going to go back to reading. I wanted to come on for at least a moment and just kind of put out there what we've uncovered and got to so far. Got a couple more depositions to read. God, some of them are dry. They truly are. But it's very unlikely that I'll get through them all tonight because they're starting to run together. But I'll give an update tomorrow for sure and try and do a little bit more. So, but yeah, that's what. How many names? So, the names thing is there's not a list of names. There's not a list of names. And that's where I think people got excited and got distracted on what was actually going on. What happened was the court released all of the documents, or is in the process of releasing all the documents. So tonight was the first dump of a document. So there are all kinds of names in these documents. Some of them are, Epstein's in there, of course. Maxwell's in there. The Jane Does. So Guffrey. Who the hell is this? Song S.J.O. Berg, Soyberg. There's I'm trying to think. Rizzo. There's several names in here. The problem was everything was redacted, so there was nothing there was nothing at all public. So not all of the names are people who had sex with anybody. They're not anybody who went to the island. They're not anybody who's done anything like that. There's been several reporters, there's attorneys and stuff like that. So this isn't a list of names. This isn't just a list of 150 people that were on an island with Epstein. I wish we could get that, but that's probably not going to happen. So this is just names in a document, with different evidence attached to them and reporting attached to them. So yeah, still need further releases to cross-reference names with DOE numbers. We have a couple that we're pretty sure about, but again, not 100%. So until we can, yeah, it absolutely is. It is this dump right now that we're going through is thousands of pages, and I would say 98% of it is total bullshit. So we're trying to connect those. We're trying to put names to numbers. We're trying to do that. But just because there's a name, it could be somebody who gave a report to the police, like Detective Dick, actual name for real, which was previously redacted. Now Detective Dick's there. He's one of the people that Palm Beach that investigated. One of the redacted names. So there's such a wealth of information and people that we have to be able to connect everything back. I can tell you for sure it's not going to get done with this dump, because we're close to the end of it. But in subsequent, we should be able to piece together what is what and have a pretty good reference of where we're going. Oh, the other one, and I didn't write it down because it's so clear. The probably most named, if I had to guess, and clearest person that's on this fucking list is William Jefferson Clinton, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's everywhere. He had a picture in the plane. He had a picture in Epstein's house. He's had sex with many of the underage does. There is no question in my mind, and I'm completely comfortable with saying that Bill Clinton was one of these people. Again, I know it's not a revelation, but now we have actual physical proof that he was. So there's no running from it anymore. So. Saw a meme stating dough number Bill Clinton would be. Ozzy, do you remember what number Bill is? Because I think we have that one figured out for sure. $36, right? The court themselves say that a number of names are being released solely because the circumstances are not salacious, nothing illegal or damning to it. I want to say it's 36, but I can't unless I go back into Discord and fuck around and try and find it. So I'll put it in the next update and we'll do the Clinton number. I believe Clinton is Doe 36. If I had to gun in my head, I would say it was 36. So, but again, yeah, some of them are. We don't know, so we weren't 100% sure that this one was ever coming. This one kind of came out of the blue. I remember Oz and I went back and forth last night. He said, "Nah, they're gonna release the whole list on the 20 or push the whole thing back to the 22nd based on that." And I said, "Nah, I think they're probably it's. I think it just means the one person, and the rest will come out." So, and we've seen that one person still redacted. So, Father made me you're correct. 36. Yep, 36. That's what I thought. But, so yeah. Once we can confirm other ones, or once there's more solid information with others, I will happily share it with you. Like I said, very likely will be tomorrow. But I'm going to try and get through it all tonight. So thank you as always for watching. Please hit that thumbs up on the way out. I hope to hear from you all again. Have a good night. And Epstein didn't kill himself.